Linwood had said a while ago, he said, the Bar Association is all Freemasons. In fact, I don't know if he still is, I'm sure he is. He's spent many years dealing with attacks at him because of him speaking up against the Bar. I mean, he's a lawyer. And he said they're all Freemasons. And I realize how right he is. I realize the country was George Washington was a Freemason. Monroe was. Several of them. Fine, you want to have your little secret societies, although the Freemasons stopped being a secret society in 1717. But what nobody ever gets to the heart of what all of these societies are about, because this is what ruins the country, really. Well, because all they do is care for their own, okay? But what's at the heart of all of them, whether it's Freemasons, Skull and Bones, Book and Snake, they're all through the universities. There's hundreds throughout this country. That's really, in my opinion, who your shadow government is, because they will put people in doctors' positions that are doctors. Linwood said the law system is kaput because, and I believe him, because I even tried to, I tried to bring a case that is totally a legit case regarding a national security risk that I had reported in 2020. AI had said I totally had a case, helped me draft a letter, everything, sent it to these law firms. They're not interested. And then I thought, well, it's what Linwood said. Of course they wouldn't be interested. But what's at the heart of all of them? They're male dominated. And I'm not saying most women, when they go after that kind of stuff, they think that, they want to make your men organizations co-ed. No, I wouldn't want to be around your type men, okay? Because I don't see you as real men if you're going after just everyday citizens. But see, it's people like me you would go after. One, I'm not worthy because I'm a woman. I'm not worthy because I'm not married to a Mason. And I'm not worthy in all of your eyes because I'm not from an elite family. But this is how they fuck with you at a local level, because I said they've gotten very sloppy this past year. It's one thing messing with my nursing contracts, okay, which my nursing career's over anyway. However, they've managed to F with me on a local level. Like, I was so happy I had been offered a job by the woman in the Shell station next door to me. And she said, the next time you come in, it'll be to meet with corporate and do a drug screen. I was already offered the job. But then when I met with corporate, somebody else had applied, even though the woman who owned the store told me nobody else had applied. I'm like, this is weird, I mean, it's one thing how tech can mess with you because everything's done online. But this was just, I applied because they had a sign outside. So then I didn't get that job. And then I said how they've messed with my mail. They opened my mail. I haven't gotten my W-2 form from my last job. They have, I've been here for 10 years, and yet a Christmas card from a family member that's never been returned to sender. Well, it was never got to me, never was sent back until well after Christmas, well after they sent another one and it canceled that check. And even my family was like, this is weird. For 10 years I've sent. Why would all of a sudden it say return to sender? Oh, some freak accident? Well, no, but let me tell you what it is. See, right after, I want to say it was the end of the Trump administration's first term, everybody was talking about the Freemasons the past 10 years. Well, suddenly, right on the edge, almost at the end of my town line, right before it goes into the next town, there was this abandoned country house, abandoned farm, right there. It's on this truck route. This truck route comes through my town. Abandoned forever, the whole time I've lived here, up until, like 8 years ago. Then all of a sudden this activity, and this huge Freemason, the compass and the G, huge Freemason sign. That's who it is. See, they have no fear. They're never held accountable because they have people everywhere. They run the DOJ. They run. This is the swamp. How do you get these people? Well, maybe that's the blessing with being under, I've said I hate being under all this surveillance. Well, that's how you can catch them. Because here's what happened today. This was, this really pissed me off, quite frankly. Is I was locked out of my house all night because it's a pin pad to get in. And I didn't call my landlords because I didn't want to wake them up in the middle of the night. So I waited till like 6 a.m. And there's a foyer. It's like I have 2 doors to come in to get in. So I stayed at the I just hung out at the gas station for several hours and then just waited inside, but it's not inside my apartment. It's just inside the first door. And so the battery has to be changed on my pin pad, okay? So later on, really like an hour ago, I get this knock on the door because my doorbell's never worked. The outside doorbell. And I'm thinking, okay, if the only person that ever knocks is my landlord, okay? So I go down there. Well, it's this the mail carrier that I've not seen forever. The one I used to see in the beginning, that when nothing happened with my mail. And she has this certified letter because the IRS has been coming after me, of course. So I'm like, how did you get in here? And she says, oh, I've always known the code. You've always known the code to get into my apartment? She's like, well, how do you think your package is? I'm like, the landlord, you deliver them to, because see, below me is a storefront. And so what the mail carriers do is they give it to, they know the landlords will get it to me. And the landlords downstairs across from me, there's another door that goes right into the store. So they just leave it right there. This was the first I'm finding out that the fucking mail carrier has a code into my house. So I'm like, what bullshit is this? I've always known it's my landlords because they'll sometimes email me and say, the mail dropped off a package, we put it outside your door. But then to see her standing there, the first time in 10 years I've ever seen that. And she says to me, she goes, oh, I'm surprised you'd answer. See, I can't hear them on the other outside of the door. It's often hard to hear them if they're knocking because there's 2 doors. But she was on inside. Oh, no, I've always had a code. Oh. Well, that doesn't make me feel good at all, okay? But this, and then she has not been the mail person. So, but I've called out my local mail carrier for messing with my mail, okay? Which is a federal offense. But what is at the heart of all of these, whether it's Freemasons, Skull and Bones, all of them? And you may think, but that's a woman. Yes, you know, the secret, woman secret societies, they're made up of the wives of these people. They are. It's all about keeping their system going. Their sick, twisted system that says, we don't like women, because really, I said it's all biblical. And what's at the heart of this, whether it's the Christian nationalists or it's the Freemasons and all the secret societies, and the Freemasons and Catholic Church, why they've been at war, I have no idea, because the Catholic Church created itself just to go into opposition of Jesus. Because what is the one thing all these men dislike about Jesus but will never admit it because they don't have enough bravery to, or enough moral compass to? They hated the fact that Jesus was bringing women up to equal status. That's what the war is at. And yet nobody wants to acknowledge that, and yet I do. And I'm being attacked from the federal, from the state, from the local, and ultimately, who is it all coming from? The Freemasons.